Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Now I expect a few of you are immediately clicking off of the show having seen this. Trust me, there's plenty to talk about with this one. And not in a bad way. There are all kinds of maps, and symmetrical maps, they don't normally get seen on the show because of my feeling, and so I think with you as well. Once you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all. But there are different standards of symmetrical maps, and some that have a lot more effort put into them. This has got a lot more in it than you can see from up here, so do hang around for it if you can. Right, meanwhile, it's Tuesday. Tuesday is request day. Today's map was requested by the creator, and it is kind of their first map, but it's not their first upload on the map. This is an update of the same map, and there was a template before. But nearly got the, it's my first map, but I held back on it because, strictly speaking, it's technical. It's technical. Do you like technical things? That's right, liking technical things really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is a perfect circle island by TinkerBell. Well, is that a perfect circle? It's, yeah, it is really, isn't it? And it is high standards here. Right, there's your start square. We won't go back to that because honestly I get very lost as to which is actually the start square, and does it really matter because it's kind of all laid out. There's your terrain heights. It slowly elevates towards the middle, and then your resources look like that. Bold and strong, bold and strong. Okay, fishing, in case you wanted to do fishing, looks like that. Sunset Harbour required, obviously, for your fishing. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, no DLC is required, and it's 100% vanilla. There is quite an extensive write-up, and do sit down and read through it. If you're going to play the map, do read through it. There's an aspect in this that I'm going to skip to in the second half of the show, which will make for some very pleasing viewing. I'm not saying that to keep you hanging on. There is some very pleasing viewing in the second half of today's show. Okay, now if we come down to the outside of the map, deep into the fog, you can actually see that not only the map is it's not a flat circle, it's a dome. And the elevation on that dome is very smooth and pleasing as well. It's almost well, it is a continuous hill as you go all the way through, but it's just a slow, steady gradient, which means that you can build on it without any of that horrible glitching from building on hills. Now you can see the roads going into an underground section here. We'll have a look at the underground section, and you'll see there is an extensive set of underground networking here. This is a stacked interchange actually, created by TinkerBell themselves. They've done some outstanding work. This is stuff that you don't see from the screenshots. Oh, this is great work. And again, this links up to another one, and of course these are throughout the map. The whole thing is beautifully symmetrical. If we then come back here, and the roads then come out at there's a tunnel over on the left over here. So yeah, they come out into all these tunnels, and you can find your way around them. And do you know what? I'm not going to get lost on this map. Trying to work out which underground route to take to go to where. Let's just assume that you've made it out of the intersections, and you get onto it. Once you get up on ground, you're not going to have any difficulty finding your way around, because it's like one pre-made circular grid system. A circular grid system? There's another word for that, isn't there? Stick it in the comments. Embarrass me. It's just escaping me right now. Heading on up towards the middle of the map, where we have this little dome at the top. Do you think we've got there? Is it going to be one of those vanilla fountains? Is it going to be a standing stone? There is something there in the middle. I'll tell you now. Get your speculations in the comments as we then will zoom in slowly to it, and I'll show you. Now I've used a little bit of creativity today as well, because I feel that if you're going to put down some wildlife in the centre, You've got to have a little bit of creativity here. So we have 2 wolves and a moose. Let me introduce you to the wolves. This is Svante even. We have Constapelm, and I feel a bit sorry for Bat 21, a moose stuck between 2 wolves. I hope you're going to be okay there, Bat 21. Yeah, randomly selected names being the latest 3 BonBonB buddies over on Patreon. See, sometimes you get a bonus shout out when you join up. Their name doesn't even appear in the end of show credits yet because they've joined this month. So that's an early shout out for you. Don't cancel your subscriptions. Otherwise that would be a free shout out, and I'm not having that. Anyway, yeah, we'll head down now to this, I'm going to call this a start square. It's not really a start circle. Anyway, there are some minor technical flaws with the map, some minor ones. First of all, if we head over here, you'll see we've got the dam. We've got loads of dams and above water. And some of these, on this tier here, you can actually see in the distance there a bit of blue mantle. Some of these at this tier on these bridges here have blue mantle. Not all of them. It looks worse from afar actually, that one, if you can make that one out. Very difficult to hold the camera as well because these are so deep and the camera wants to default to the height of the land underneath the water. But you can just about see there, we've got a bit of blue mantle under that one as well. It's minor stuff, but from a distance and for aesthetics, that could be a little bit distracting. This one, see, this one's okay. This one's okay. If I get down a little bit lower and try not to splosh, we'll probably end up sploshing. And then over this side, on this next one, we've got blue mantle on both sides over here. Again, is it a huge problem? No. Is it a technical issue? There you go, sploshed it. Is it a technical issue? Yes, it's a minor technical issue that a few of you might grumble about. I don't have a huge problem. It is, I can see how it's been caused by the merging of the roads so close from the tunnel that you have trouble pushing back the land any further. Anyway, let's call this a start square, which means we have an asset of the day. Now this one, I'm not even going to zoom into this one. There we go. You know what? Shall we pull back? I think we'll pull back and zoom in. There you go. So let's get some tradition going, shall we? This is Givenchy Seoul by TinkerBell, and it's part of their flagship stores workshop collection, and they've done a load. So if you want some nice flagship stores for your city, TinkerBell is the creator to go for. Anyway, factoids, because factoids. Now here's one for the Brits. I don't know if he's known anywhere else in the world. George Formby, the extremely popular English singer, was born on this day, the 26th of May, in 1904, and he was once awarded the Order of Lenin by Russia. George Formby, born today in 1904. Most famous hit, probably When I'm Cleaning Windows, and if you've not heard it, YouTube it later. It's magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. Ukulele and all. That's Givenchy Seoul by TinkerBell, today's asset of the day. Right, I love a bit of George Formby. Again, next minor technical problem where the rail tunnels are just glitching into these roads here, and it's not the one-off. If you come over to this one over here, I'm not checking everything on the map. There are so many things that you could check and fine-tune, but yeah, you can see that there are minor issues with those as well. So while the detailing is magnificent on this map in terms of getting it as accurate as we have, there are some stuff that you could say would deny a perfect score, or maybe even bring it even lower. Anyway, heading off to where the fog would be, which means it's time for an intermission.
Are you confused with the difference between a mod and an asset? And what's the deal between a theme and a LUT? Then you need BonBonB's Beginner's Guide to Mods, Assets, Themes, and LUTs. Click the information button now.
And so back to A Perfect Circle Island by TinkerBell and the shipping routes. Now, the ships will go either side of this long bridge, that's not a problem. And they might just avoid that pillar as they find their way around it. But the bridges are slightly too low for the vanilla cruisers, so there'll be a little bit of shipping clipping if that's the sort of thing that bothers you. Of course, you can use mods, which will then give you slicker ships that will go under them quite happily. And of course, it's not a realist's map, is it? Is it? It's a fantasy map. It's an art map. I haven't done an art map for a long time. Look at this from above. Just look at how great it looks with those underground intersections. Stunning. And of course, with the water flow as well, that looks pretty from up here too. Let's just check it for water flow. Make sure we have actually got some flowing water. And the answer is yes, we have. Now, the flowing water, though, is also something you have to consider. It is covered in the description and in depth. When you load up the map, you will have flooding. And then you have to wait a little time for it to stop flooding. And that sometime is quite some time. Now, I've sped this up about 3,000 speed or something crazy like that. And it was already running with the speed slider mod at 200% speed on speed level 3. I had left it for half an hour, left the game running for half an hour before the flooding pretty much had stopped. I mean, you could start playing it now if you're not going out to the edges, it wouldn't be an issue. But if you want it to be completely stopped, it was about 5 in-game years. So, if that's a problem for you, just consider that, okay? Just if you want to sit down and start playing immediately, this map won't allow it for your first load. Once you've saved it, of course, once your game is saved and rolling, you'll be fine. But I think if you're looking to play a symmetrical map, a pre-built symmetrical map, so we've got this. I think this is a permanent thing here. We've got a little bit of edge of circle flooding there. If I show you the terrain lines in a minute, you'll see that these are actually flat surfaces, and this has stopped running for this. I reckon that this is a permanent feature, which is why we don't have roads extending down here. So we've got a few trees on the edge that might be paddling in the water a little bit. Maybe that'll resolve itself in time. I just didn't have any more time just to sit waiting for this to sort itself out. I'd have a huge problem because you won't be building down here. You'll be building around the centre. Nobody's going to build around the edges when you've got the centre skyscrapers to build. Yeah, it's a beautiful symmetry map. I'm pulled right the way back here. Let me just show you. Look at all the dams. You're not going to struggle for water on this map. That initial flooding, I think, is worthwhile for the free electricity. That's the price you pay. I think that's actually the words that TinkerBell has used. I just thought TinkerBell and StringerBell in the same show. I didn't plan that. Anyway, now, what do you reckon that is in the distance there? We've got one on each edge, and I'm telling you they're all different. But I'm also telling you that once I show you one of them, you'll be able to tell me exactly what the other 3 are. There's a third one, and there is another one down in that edge over there. So what do you reckon they are? Okay, I'm gonna slowly zoom. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna do a spin. I'll do a random spin, which means we're gonna look at one of these things, and they are all different from each other. And I promise you'll be able to not only tell me what the other 3 are, but on what edges they are. Hey, little game time. You pause the game now, and pause the video now, and stick in the comments. What do you think this is? What do you think it is? Is it an oil rig? Is it an oil rig? It looks like an oil rig. I thought this was an oil rig, but no. No. It's an N. Now, why would we have an N up here at that part of the map? You've worked it out, haven't you? If we come all the way down the other side of the map, directly opposite, we zoom in a little bit closer, there it is, an S. See, you are clever. You knew you were clever all the time, didn't you? Yeah, an E over here, N-E-W-S. It's a news map. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so that means that the sun rises over here in the east, doesn't it? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. The sun actually rises on this map in the north over here. I thought I'd do a little test on that one. So let's just say it's an alien map. It doesn't look like Earth, does it? So yeah, it's an alien map. So anyway, what do you think of this map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. What do I think? Oh, I'd love this to be this. It's just a standout symmetry map, but I suspect it won't be because you guys. Aesthetically, look, I'm going to give this 5 stars. I don't think it could be any more aesthetic in the genre that it is within, and it's vanilla. So, blown away by all that, 5 stars for aesthetics. Did I say we were using the vanilla European theme and the realistic 1.2 LUT? Well, I'm told you now. Detail, yeah, I was going to go 4 stars. But we've got the blue mantle, we've got the glitchy tunnels, and we have got shipping clipping. So 3 stars for detail, but a high 3. Gameplay potential. I think if you want to play this map, you will play it nonetheless, regardless, no matter what. But I think it's a once playthrough, and it's a bit niche. I'm going 3 stars for gameplay, because it's playable. You might have any issues with it. You might have to wait a little while, though. A Perfect Circle Island by TinkerBell. I'm so glad. You know what? I take map requests in the comments, via Twitter, via Discord, via Facebook. I'll take them, and quite often I'll look at them and I go, oh, and quite often, ooh. But that one I just thought, do you know what? Bloody glad you did. Really glad you did. Thank you very much, and so much work and effort's gone into that. Well, thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow with another map in the What Map series.